way, Arizona did just score, so it's 5-1.
Oh my God. Okay, it is live.
Include that in the intro. Like as we were talking, the Hawks are getting stuffed in a fucking locker.
Stuffed in the ass.
Yeah.
But we're at, well, you know, with all the gay people succeeding, you know what? It's not good. Make sure this part is cut.
Where are you going with this?
There are a lot of homosexuals currently having some success. That's all I was saying. You know what's funny is these are on YouTube, so like someone could dig this up one day.
Yeah. Well, like I looked one up. I looked up the Barstool Chief one just like out of curiosity, and it was at like 30 views or something. So like, yeah, people definitely watched it.
God.
It's fucked.
Which means your Pyeongchang thing is still in it, and now there'll be a new one because I just did it. But that's okay because St. Cloud, they fucking advertised it again, and I tried to get it off in a snap and send it to you, Nick, and I couldn't do it in time. But it's fucking stupid. It's so bad. I don't know how they got away with it. They get away with weird shit up here.
What'd they do? You didn't explain what they did.
They just keep saying like there's an American that tries to say it and they can't say it right, and then like an Asian girl comes in and goes Pyeongchang, and then like the American tries to say it and he can't say it right. So then, like, an Asian guy comes in and he says it right, and then it's like holy shit, guys! Like this is horrible on multiple levels.
All right.
Anyway.
All right, start the timer.
Okay.
Or maybe the timer should already been started.
Yeah, I'll figure it out.
Yeah, let's try. I should have started. Oh well.
After Kevin makes gets the link, I'll make it private.
Yeah, okay. might be better.
Save my personal brand. All right. Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right, start it. I'm going. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Go With The Flow podcast. It is Nick Phillips, joined as always by Dan Merritz and Kevin Bartman. Fellas, what's going on? As I lead off this intro, the Chicago Blackhawks are more dead than the Goth Party. They were just been scored on. It is 5-1. It's over, folks. Why bring back Corey Crawford? The tank is fully on. We're falling for Dolan. Let's get after it. Let's just start. We did this last time, but there was a 5% chance, like just a little glimmer of hope. Maybe they could tread water a little bit, get Corey Crawford back, but they've lost up 10 games in a row now since we last talked. I think it's got to be like 5 straight losses since we last talked because they haven't done a damn thing. So, who wants to start off? They're just done.
I think you nailed it. They're absolutely dead. I don't really know what more there else is to say. I got excited today when I got the notification about Crawford coming back, but that doesn't, hide the fact that our team is a fucking abomination. So,
like when I got that notification too, I couldn't care less.
Well, like I was happy, but at the same time, I'm like, it's too late.
Yeah, exactly.
But at least it was like, okay, cool. Like he's getting healthy. That's good to know. And it sucks because, if he wasn't out for so long, he'd probably have a better chance for the Vezina.
Yeah, he was right up there. Probably
he was right up there. So I mean, it was good to see that he is skating again and is getting healthy. It's not going to fucking matter for this year, but that's okay. At least there's one small glimmer of hope.
I will say this
for the Hawks this year, and that's him getting healthy again.
Behind Crawford, we need another new backup because
absolutely.
Anton Forsberg, he sucks. He sucks so fucking much.
And then
so bad.
Jeff Glass is much better.
Like Jeff Glass sounds like a guy who has like a construction company or something. I don't know.
No, you're right though. I mean, he
sounds like an average Joe off the street.
He does. But I mean, he had his like moment in the sun or whatever you want to call it. Like a really heartwarming story about how he's 30 some odd years old and he played in the K and he's been in the AHL and he finally played his first NHL game. But he is not he's not an NHL caliber backup by any means, and obviously neither is Forsberg, and it really sucks because we had two really good ones.
And it makes the Panarin Saad trade that much worse.
I was going to say something about
that.
Mm-hmm. That trade is giving them zero redeeming qualities, zero return. It's
bad when you got like guys on Sportsnet speculating that we should trade Brandon Saad. Like that would be by far the biggest loss for Stan Bowman in his tenure here.
Mm-hmm. But would you trade him?
Would I?
Mm-hmm. I'd still want to haul.
It depends. I don't want to trade him at his
lowest.
Yeah, it depends what we can get.
Saying.
Yeah, let's take it back to Corey Crawford for a second. The Blackhawks are dead. It's over. There's no chance. There's not enough games left. There's too many teams to climb. The team is just defeated. I don't know if the message with Quenneville has gone stale. I can tell you the defense is bad. Having no Crawford right now with the backup goalie situation is, that's pretty much killed any chance they had because they were kind of, probably like 50-50 to go to the playoffs. Maybe we're going to get that last spot. Then basically with the way their defense is and these shitty backups, it just killed any chance they would have had to go to the playoffs. But why would you bring him back at this point? Why would you bring him back? If I'm a Blackhawks fan and they've got, they've still got some talent on the roster, why not? This guy's had a few injury problems the past couple of years. Why would you not just let him go into 2018-19, 100% healthy? Like, don't play him the rest of the year. You might as well just let him be healthy. And at the same time, since you're not going to the playoffs, Glass and Forsberg, they're a lock to give you a top 10 pick, which the Hawks probably need because their GM, Stan Bowman, has basically pigeonholed the Blackhawks to only being able to sit on their hands. They have no good assets to give up at the trade deadline. They're going to be inactive. They're obviously not going to be buyers. They have nothing to sell worth of value. This summer, they're probably just going to cap dump one or two guys. I mean, Anisimov, somehow maybe they can trade Seabrook. I mean, maybe we'll talk about that in a bit, but I have an interesting Seabrook trade idea where I think he might actually end up going. I actually do think there's slight hope that they could get rid of him because I appreciate everything he's done, but that contract is just killing them. They have no cap space. So
no,
I just don't know why you'd bring back Corey Crawford because why not have him go into next year 100% healthy, and why not get a really good draft pick right now? Because what the Blackhawks need is if you're going to spend to the cap ceiling, you need impact players on entry-level contracts to go with your core or what's left of the core. Because, I mean, Hose is gone, Hjalmarsson's gone, Panarin's gone. I mean, it's just this, musical chairs with the roster. And I think that's part of it too. There's so much turnover with the roster and guys aren't what they used to be. It's finally starting to catch up to them. But I mean, does anyone want to see Crawford play this year? I really don't want to see him in the net. I love the guy.
There's no reason to. There really is no reason to.
There's really no reason to. I mean, like I was saying, it's just nice to know that he's getting healthy. I mean, yeah, I guess it would be kind of cool to see him play again just because, he was doing so well. And with the way things are right now, he'd probably get 30, 40 shots a game for the rest of the season. Which might be a good, there's still, obviously the summer and whatnot, but I don't know. It might be a good way to kind of get him back up to speed in a way. If that makes sense. He's too
good. He'll win them a game or two. They're not supposed to win.
Yeah, that's true. And at this point, if we're tanking this hard, then we might as well just tank all the way, keep Glass or Forsberg in that, and just let, Crawford, give him rest. I mean, for fuck's sake, the guy was the backbone of this entire team the entire year, and obviously since he's been gone, we can see this was like a Carey Price Montreal Canadiens type of thing. Like he was that.
Said it last week. They're literally Montreal West, dude.
He was that much of the backbone for the Hawks this year. So at this point, just give him his rest. The guy deserves it. Like shit. We'll just reset for next year, or I don't know. Maybe
I'm sure he wants to play, and I'm sure a lot of the guys still on the team have pride, believe it or not. but
he will steal a game or two.
It's not happening this year.
Mm-hmm.
And, we saw this past draft that took place in Chicago that Philadelphia had, the 12th worst record in the NHL? They ended up with the number 2 pick. I believe right now the Blackhawks are sitting at number 9. I mean, they easily could fall into a top 5 pick. I mean, if they get a little bit of lottery luck, I mean,
yeah.
I'm all in on the tank. I can't believe we joked in the beginning of the year, the defense stinks. Like maybe they'll get Dahlen. Like the NHL would lose its shit. I think the whole league would lose their mind. It would be pretty funny. Not as much as Edmonton though. If Edmonton gets the number 1 pick though, that's pretty wild.
If they get the number 1 pick, the NHL should be like, all right, you can't take Rasmus Dahlen. Like he's off the table for you guys. You will ruin his career somehow.
I mean,
Chiarelli
will. Well, yeah, you said it earlier, Nick. He'll just trade him within a year.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking about
for
it.
Nothing.
I was thinking about it, and really our only options to have an impact defenseman in the immediate future is we somehow get Rasmus Dahlen, or it has to be someone from Rockford. Like, there's really no other options. You can't trade for someone like a Noah Hannafin or a Jacob Trouba, someone who's going to be a restricted free agent, because I just don't really see us being able to put together a decent enough package.
Oh, here's a brilliant idea. They could have given those guys the money they just gave to Brent Seabrook. Brilliant idea.
Yeah, well, I don't know what to tell you there. But really, do you see any other options?
No.
That would still keep our team competitive enough?
We have no trade assets that we actually would want to trade.
I think if Stan were to make a big move at the deadline, which I don't think he'll do, but it would be to trade someone like a Brandon Saad and just totally be like, fuck it. We need to.
Yeah.
And they would be selling him at his all-time lowest trade value.
Yeah. I still think you could get a pretty good haul for it,
the thing is he's young.
Yeah. He's young. He's controlled.
And the potential is there. He's just
Brandon Saad for Olimata. We all freak out.
Dude, that guy's not the fucking. That guy gets walked. I don't even know what the analogy is, but every time I fucking watch Olimata play, he's getting danced around, and somebody puts it in the back of his own net.
Yeah,
dude, fucking sucks. Sorry, Ollie.
Yeah, Bowman's got a rough trade history recently. We were kind of running down some of the trades. The Forsling trade. I mean, he got sent back down, but I mean, Forsling for Clendening. I mean, that's hard to disagree with that one. And the Antoine Vermette trade in 2015 got him a cup. When Kane was out with the collarbone, they still sacked up, still believed in their team. But the Patrick's giving up to Steven Johns in order to trade Patrick Sharp, trading Tavo to get rid of Bickle's contract, trading a second-round pick in addition to Philip Deneau for Dale Weiss and Thomas Fleischman. They got nothing back for Nick Leddy. I mean, they've traded Nicholas Hjalmarsson for Connor Murphy. I really still like Brandon Saad, and I think he's still going to be here for a while. But right now, that trade is looking like a loss for the Blackhawks. Panarin gave him a ton of production, and Saad has just not looked like himself in his second stint with the Blackhawks. So, as much as the Hawks maybe need to make a big trade, to be completely honest, I've lost all the faith that we can get a reasonable trade done. And it's frustrating as a fan because right now, I'm kind of repeating myself, but they don't have any good trade assets that they'd actually give. They're not going to trade Schmaltz. They're not going to trade DeBrincat.
Realistically, who they'd trade, you're looking at like Eric Gustafson, who I don't know what he brings back, like a mid-round draft pick or something.
Yeah, it's all exactly
like
the
assets.
You could trade a Michael Kempany. Michael Kempany doesn't do shit. No. He's just like a guy. He's out there, so someone might toss you some bones for him.
That's exactly the problem that you're hitting on. Any of the guys that are worth things like a Schmaltz or DeBrincat, you're not going to want to trade because that would be just stupid. So all that's left are like what you just said, Kempney and what was the other guy that you just said?
I said Gustafson.
Yeah. And you're not going to get anything worthwhile there. I mean, you might get it's happened before in the past where really, really good Hall of Fame players have come from, 4th, 5th, and 6th round, but the likelihood of that happening is super duper low. And just on a side note, if you look at Panarin's stats directly with Saad's, they both played 55 games. Panarin has 45 points, and Saad has like maybe 24. So, Panarin's almost a point a game player still, again, without Patrick Kane. So he's kind of proving that he can be successful in this league without, the world-class talent that is Kane, and Saad is just in the cellar with 20 fucking points. Like, holy shit.
You can't, obviously no one expected Saad to be a point.
No, that's not.
Guy,
yeah,
but
that one, I don't
is
think
it too outrageous to ask for, I don't know, 45, 50 points at the bare minimum?
No, because that's what.
Not for $6 million a year.
Yeah. And not for
$6 million a year.
Everyone knows he can play both ways very well, but
yeah,
like you're supposed to come in, play on our first line with Jonathan Taves and Richard Panik, who's god awful. I finally believe in you, Nick. Nick was on the train of Richard Panik sucks.
He's bad, and he's a dumbass. He takes the worst fucking penalties.
Yeah, he does.
I'm telling you.
But because there were stretches last year where he'd play really well, and then there'd be a stretch of like 4 or 5 games where he would do nothing and take the stupidest fucking penalties.
This year it was the opposite.
It was all,
he'd only have a few games where he'd play really well, and the rest of them he'd be absolutely dog shit.
So that, and then we got Anthony Duclair out of that, which, I mean, watching Duclair now, he's 22. He's going to get better. I'm
optimistic about him personally.
Yeah, like I thought
an off season. That could end up being
great. Yeah. Well, we're gonna have to pay him. It's not going to be much. It'll be like probably under $2 million a year.
How old is he? Is he 24?
With a no trade clause?
Oh God,
probably.
With shit.
I mean, every guy. That's part of the problem with the Hawks. To finish what I was going to say, first of all, Saad. I think that wasn't a trade for an 82-game regular season. That was a guy that they thought would help them more than Panarin come playoff time, where he can play both ways. He's harder to play against because Panarin wasn't good in the playoffs. But the thing with the Hawks that's just really depressing, to be quite honest, is they don't have any guys they're going to be able to trade. They don't have cap space to go sign a guy. And their core is getting older. It's just a really bad situation. So they're somehow going to have to cap dump a couple guys, or they're going to have to get some lottery luck or hope somehow the salary cap goes up, because they pretty much can't help themselves right now. It's kind of the way.
And like the contracts that Stan has given out, all the big ones, when you look at it, like in the latter half of the contract, there's really no incentive for them to, like, I don't want to say like to play worse, because that's not what they're going to do, but you give them a full no trade clause for the whole duration of the contract. You're paying them a fuckload of money for a big amount of years. Like, I feel like Stan was just really way too generous in negotiations. He's like, you know what? You gave us 3 cups. I'm pretty satisfied with that. I'll give you whatever you want. Like, you still have to.
You can't do that when you have no cap room.
No.
You still got to have some, integrity and say, no, I still want to be good. And like, you're going to have to take a little less so we can be good and have a little extra room going down the road. And
the Jalmerson thing kills me because he was a stalwart too for a long time. I mean, not like Seabrook. I mean, Seabrook and Keith are the longest tenured Hawks. But you trade Jalmerson for Murphy. You got younger, but you didn't get better, and you didn't save any cap space.
No.
That trade still boggles my mind. And I don't think Jalmerson's best years are ahead of him, but I mean,
I don't think it was worth. Yeah, I know what you're
that
getting
shakes
at.
up the room a little bit too with a guy like that. I mean, that doesn't do any good in the locker room either. And
really, the only good for me that's coming, or I guess it's sort of, I'm spinning myself into a optimistic take on this, is that Connor Murphy came from a dog shit organization, and he's still really young, so he's going to get better. I don't know how much better, but like, I haven't been impressed really at all with him. He's been sufficient enough.
I mean, what's his ceiling?
But
what's his ceiling?
That's relatively.
Oh my fuck, boys! It's 6-1. By the way, sorry to interrupt real quick, but it's 6-1. I just got an update.
They've given
and
up.
Wait, hang on. I think, did it say that Ronaldo was the
7-1?
one?
Whoa!
I think Ronaldo scored too. By the way.
Fucking Zach Ronaldo.
No, never mind.
Oh, Well, still.
No, wait. Actually, the update didn't come in. It deleted off my phone, and now I can't see it. So I don't know who actually scored.
Here, look. You guys
No,
talk.
Dvorak. Christian Dvorak scored.
Oh, Christian Dvorak.
Ronaldo got an assist on it.
Speak of the devil.
Speaking of the devil, Christian,
another trade, right?
Yeah, another bad Stan Bowman trade. We got David Rundblad, which was a random trade out of nowhere, and we could have Christian Dvorak.
He was a second rounder, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I will say trading Shaw's free agent rights and getting DeBrincat's looking pretty good right now. But
I'd say Hartman's sufficiently taken up that role with Shaw.
In the last 3-4 years, there have been a lot more bad trades and signings than there have been good. And yeah, it's
absolutely
pretty disheartening. So yeah, the Blackhawks are they're dead. A pretty popular team before the year, thought, you know what? Got knocked out in the first round of the playoffs. They made a couple changes to get Saad back. You know what? They've gotten some rust. Maybe they're going to be back and have a good year. They did, even though they got swept by Nashville. Nashville was kind of a buzzsaw, and they still had the best record in the West, so they shouldn't be. They should be back again. But I think this is probably the biggest surprise in the NHL. The Oilers were a sexy pick. Well, I mean, you guys would agree. The Blackhawks.
No, nobody would have foreseen the Hawks tanking this hard, or at all, for that matter. Going from what did we have, 106 points last year?
109.
At the end of the 109 to barely half right now at this point in the season.
They're far and away the worst team in the Central. Points wise and just quality of play wise.
Yeah.
They're losing 6-1 to the fucking Coyotes.
Whose goal differential, by the way, is -64. That gives you the idea of how god awful they are. Here's a question for you guys.
Let's hear it.
The organization, front office, John McDonough, Rocky Wirtz, they go ask 1988. We're thinking about making a head coaching switch. Do Jonathan Toews and Patrick Kane go to bat for Joel Quenneville? The reason I ask is he's been there over a decade now.
This is 10th year, right?
This is his 10th year.
Okay.
Wait.
I think it is.
Well, it was
2009.
It was 08-09. Okay, so he's been there basically a decade.
Almost 10 years.
And that's a long time in the NHL, and I really appreciate what he's done. But you've seen a trend recently in the NHL. Not all head coaching firings are a good move, as we've seen in Florida and with Gallant and how he's single-handedly made Vegas just an absolute, wagon. But basically, you look at Boston moving on from Julian and having Cassidy come in, LA getting rid of Sutter. There's some teams that had, a good long stretch of play. Boston, LA, those are teams that also won cups around the same time the Hawks did, and they fired guys who had been there for a while. And it's just is it possible that Q's message has just gone stale? I mean, I've ranted on this podcast many a times about how I don't really think the Blackhawks defense gives them a chance to win, but it's very possible that these guys, just the message is worn thin, and it's just kind of going in one ear and out the other, and the players just aren't really responding well to it. I don't know what you guys think.
I think to answer your question, I think yes, Patrick Kane and Jonathan Toews would go to bat for Q. I think Bowman would be out before Q would be out, personally, just because what we've been talking about with all the shit, Q's got a system. They stick to the system. They do not deviate from the system whatsoever. But when you look at all the trades that we've been talking about, how much of that is really Q's fault? If he's got a blue line that fucking sucks dick, and you look at the guys in the AHL and it's not that much better, how much of that is really on Q? And then you've got the power play, which, as the head coach he's a part of, but that's Dineen's area, if I'm not mistaken. So
but that's a handpicked guy from Q. I mean, that's Q's
that is true. But still, I don't know. I think Q's got another chance. I think Bowman's out before Q gets out, if Bowman does leave, the leash on Q is going to be extremely short. Like they need to make the playoffs next year. And I'm not saying that they're immediately going to come back from a dog shit year and win the cup, next year, but they need to get out. What they need to do is they need to get out of the first round. They absolutely have to get out of the first round, because if it's just another first round exit, then that's basically the same result, in the last 4 years, more or less, except for this year, which we're not going to make the playoffs. But I think Q's leash is going to be extremely short next year.
I would argue that if Quenneville and Bowman had to make an argument on why they should still stay, I think Bowman has a better argument to stay. Because while he has we just talked, 20 minutes about all the shit trades he's done. He has an argument that he kind of has this plan to do a more intense retool or rebuild on the fly, like he's pretty much always done. And he is putting together a decent group of young guys, like 23 to 25-year-old guys.
He definitely has. And
it gets to a certain point where Stan Bowman can only do so much. When you have as much talent as you have, like as the Hawks do, and you're going into Arizona and you're getting spanked, putting up 1 goal against the Coyotes, like that's not on Bowman. At some point, you got to hold Q accountable to light a fire on these guys' asses, get something going in the locker room, and that just hasn't been the case. Like there's no urgency. I think Quenneville, he's a damn good coach. He's just overstayed his welcome. Or I shouldn't say that. That's a bad way to put it. But we've mentioned before,
his
coaches have a shelf life. Yeah.
Yeah.
At some point, you got to move on, get a fresh voice. Maybe something else. Maybe, it goes for the better.
So then,
are players not allowed to be accountable, though? I feel like where's the accountability?
They are. But with firing a coach, I think that really gets people going. I remember when Savard got fired, Patrick Kane was literally bawling his eyes out crying. Yeah. And I think that lit a fire specifically under him, but I think it lit a fire under the whole team, that it's kind of like, shit, we're responsible for this guy getting fired. It's kind of like individual games. You pull your goalie, it's a lot of times it's not the goalie's fault, it's the team's fault, and it's one of those things.
Well, you'd think, yeah.
So I guess to follow up the question that Nick's saying is, you fire Q, who do you pick up? Who do you have an interim head coach?
Well, before I answer that, I think another thing I wanted to say is I think you create more problems by firing Bowman than you do by firing Quenneville. I think.
Wait, say that again. You create more problems.
You would create more problems by firing Bowman and keeping Quenneville than by firing Quenneville and keeping Bowman. Because if you fire Bowman, you bring in a whole new GM who can probably bring in his own coach. He has no emotional relationships with the roster. He, who's to say he comes in and trades a guy like Patrick Kane? Like, Patrick Kane's done nothing for this new GM. I think, it's more of a controllable situation if you keep the GM and you roll the dice, get a new head coach who can maybe do something with the current roster, and then you're still able to add pieces with Bowman like he's been doing.
Mm-hmm.
So
that makes me sick to my fucking stomach. The King.
Ugh. I mean, yeah, obviously it does, but about that. It's not out of the question.
It's a good point. Then that's why I'm just like, holy fuck, that genuinely could be, with the new GM, that genuinely could be in consideration.
Patrick Kane goes to Buffalo, plays with Jack Eichel and Rasmus Dahlin, brings him
Casey Middlestat.
Yeah, Casey Middlestat.
Oh my god, that team still needs a goaltender though. Actually, that team needs a lot of things.
Also, Buffalo.
Jeff Glass.
Also, Buffalo probably would have nothing of value to trade the Blackhawks.
No,
they do, but they're not.
It would be Rasmus Dahlin. It would be fucking Rasmus Dahlin. But yeah, so I guess we'll close with this. In my personal opinion, I think there is a very good chance the Blackhawks essentially return looking the exact same next year. There may not be any big moves. They're not going to trade any young prospects. They already made a couple panic moves this year, and Quenneville's at a good tenure there. They might just throw the same shit against the wall next year and see if it sticks. I could 100% see the ownership going, you know what? Q's, very popular. Season ticket holders are going to be pissed. Our fan base is going to be mad. Like if the team's been losing and then you fire a guy like Q, that's bad PR, it's bad marketing, blah blah blah. Like I can 100%. I actually say it's most likely scenario is that
we don't do anything.
I would say anything. I would say that would be the most likely thing that happens.
Is everyone comes back and it's just the same roster. It's the same GM. It's the same coach. And then you get the cliche, well, we got a bunch of young players we like and we hope they take that next step. And we've got some guys who I think are going to come back motivated. Just, cliche, another cliche, and then see if they can make a run in a very, very tough division.
Yeah. I would say that would be the most likely thing. Or like, I don't know, you fire an assistant coach or two and you bring, some new people to be kind of Q's right-hand man.
Olfie and
that
Kevin
would be the
Dineen,
only one.
Full-blown Cuncel. They're absolutely gone. If Quenneville comes back, they can't be back.
We need I didn't even think about this earlier, is Bowman fired Mike Kitchen before the season, and that was Joel Quenneville's guy. And you'd think doing that, Joel Quenneville would be like, all right, fuck, Stan's not fucking around. And then this happens. Like, I don't know. We've mentioned before, or we speculated before, that there's a pretty shaky relationship between Quenneville and the front office.
And I think it stems from Stan's trading, or Stan has traded a few guys that Quenneville really likes for right out from under his feet. Like, do you think Quenneville was consulted? Honestly, do you think Joe Quenneville went, oh hell yeah, trade Nicholas Hjalmarsson? Fuck no.
No.
There's no way. No fucking way.
I don't know. And I guess, so if Stan is building towards a roster that plays a different style, I guess, why not? I think you bring in a new head coach,
I just don't know who that guy is.
Me either, but if you keep a guy like Quenneville who's going to be stubborn and play his way, it's going to be a repeat of this year. You got to bring in someone else who.
It seems like it's heading for a divorce.
Who can do something with his current group.
I don't know if it's going to happen this year though. Even though it's as bad as it's going to, it seems like it can't get any worse. It's like rock bottom right now.
If I had to gamble, I would bet that
which we do,
not successfully, but we do. I would have to bet that Joel Quenneville is gone in the offseason. He'll finish the year.
Finish off the tank.
Yeah, And then I think you got to give Bowman. So I was talking to a friend earlier. I said what I thought this season was for Q, which was essentially do or die. I think that's what next year is going to be for Bowman. They're going to say, all right, you got to nail this hire.
That's caused. Then you might get some more trades, panic trades. I got to do this to save my job. That could be the nail in the coffin for the Blackhawks. Is if you get a GM who's worrying more about himself than the future of the team, with Quenneville gone, the locker room already a little disgruntled, that could be where shit spirals. That is my one fear about. I am cautiously optimistic this team could come back with a fire under their ass next year. Possibly have a couple new faces. Probably would be bad contract for bad contract trades. I don't really know.
I really don't think relying on a team to have a fire under their ass going into the next season is a good excuse, because that's what we thought would happen this year. And it was even worse. So that's why I would think, I guess, McDonough and Rocky Wirtz, they would have to give somewhat of a significant amount of trust in Bowman going forward. Say, all right, we think, we know what you're doing. We trust you in it. Hire your guy. And then, we'll go from there.
Mm-hmm.
I just personally don't think Quenneville is that guy anymore.
Yeah. All right. Crazy times in Chicago. But we're going to move on. We warned it was going to be a Blackhawks-centric, Blackhawks-heavy podcast. But one thing we got to definitely touch on a much more positive note, and he's obviously a controversial player, because if you got to play against him all the time, you don't like him. He's been a face of the league for a long time. He's arguably still the best player in the league. Sidney Crosby has hit the 400 goal plateau. Just general thoughts about Sidney Crosby. It's kind of amazing how well he bounced back, because there's a time a couple years ago where the concussion injuries, he just had some bad injury luck, and people were saying, did we see Crosby's best years? But we've seen the Penguins go back to back. We've seen him dominate in the playoffs. They had a little bit of a slow start this year, but they're looking poised for another deep run in the spring. So just overall thoughts on Crosby, hitting 400 and yeah.
Yeah, I think, I was one of those that sort of watched all that concussion stuff and whatnot in Pittsburgh in general, just kind of tank a little bit and fall off their former ways. And now they've sort of been, well, not sort of been, they have been revitalized in that they've won the last 2 cups. So congrats to him, 400 goals. Not many guys can say that. He certainly reclaimed his title of, best player in the league. So that's impressive. Even though I'm not the biggest fan of his, you got to tip your cap. You got to give credit where credit's due, and it's certainly due to him. I just hope that somebody fucking beats them finally, because if they win 3 in a row, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to fucking jump out my window or some shit. But yeah, I mean, it's impressive. It's impressive. He's doing some impressive shit. And to be honest, I'm glad to see that he's, sort of healthy, I guess you could say, and is back to his old ways. You don't want to see somebody's career tank because of, because of injuries like that. So.
Yeah. I mean, I really have nothing else to say other than you got to tip your cap. Like, say what you want about Sidney Crosby. It's pretty incredible to be able to watch this, see his entire career all the way through, and just watch who's a guy who's going to be one of the best hockey players of all time when, by the time his career is said and done. So, tip the cap. Fuck the Penguins, though. Like you said, Dan, if they win the cup,
heard that shit.
I don't even know what to do. Like that.
Honestly, just somebody else fucking do it.
I mean, hey, you know what? Maybe this leads into another time. It's still early. I mean, we're gonna have plenty of playoff talk. We're all in on the playoffs still, because you know what? Winnipeg's gonna be fun as hell in the playoffs. Vegas is gonna be fun in the playoffs. Those home crowds are gonna be lit as fuck. I'm still all in on the playoffs. Just because my team stinks doesn't mean I can't.
Spin zone. You don't have a pony in the race, so you can kind of just sit back and watch.
Yes, absolutely. No biased gambling. Like, it's great, right? So I'll be all over that. But I mean, who's got the best shot to knock off Pittsburgh? Is it Tampa?
It's Tampa.
I mean,
it's
Tampa. In the East.
Yeah, we'll say the East.
Tampa.
Yeah.
Hang on. I want to look at. I want to see.
I don't think Toronto can do it.
The obvious choice is Tampa.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Washington does Washington have any prayer here?
Washington?
Yeah.
I mean, they do,
no.
but they don't.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, Boston's too is playing hot. I mean, we had Grinnelli on, and he said, he thought Boston could possibly give them a run for their money. I mean, the thing about Washington and in Tampa and Boston is they all have very, very good goaltenders. So it just seems like Pittsburgh's playing really hot at the right time. Kessel and Malkin and Crosby are all hitting the score sheet pretty heavily. It almost just seems inevitable that Pittsburgh's just going to go on that run again. But God, I mean, Tampa, I don't know. I don't know what the format's setting up right now, but
I'm looking at it right now.
I'm really hoping that'd be the Eastern Conference Final.
Tampa and Pittsburgh, that'd probably be the most entertaining. I mean, right now Pittsburgh's playing Philly in the first round. Like, is anybody going to take Philly over Pittsburgh ever in that situation? Probably not.
Dude, and then bet the over on that every game in that series, though.
And then you got Washington playing New Jersey. I mean, who's to say that Washington beats New Jersey? I mean, they almost fucking lost to Toronto last year in the first round. So who's to say that it would be a Pittsburgh-Washington semifinal again? New Jersey, you can't count out New Jersey. They've been really fucking good. They got Taylor Hall. They got, Brian Boyle. Corey Schneider's a hell of a goalie. And even if he's not in, Kincaid's no slouch. So, You know, I mean, that team's going to be tough to play against too. So,
When
I
I
mean,
look
I
at,
would. Oh, go ahead, Kev.
oh, I was just gonna say, when I look at the three teams, you look at Tampa, Boston, and
Washington.
Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh. No, I was talking about those three.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
I guess even Washington too. Like I um I look at goaltending so much in the playoffs because
Mm-hmm.
like I think having a hot goaltender is one of the best things you can have. It is the best thing you can have going to the playoffs. We see it every year. Like the one edge or the one reason I would not give Tampa an edge in any series is just Vasilevsky doesn't have as much experience in the playoffs as everyone else on the other team. I guess you could argue Matt Murray.
Yeah, but neither did
like,
Matt Murray.
Yeah, but like if I put Vasilevsky against Matt Murray, like, I'd still give the edge to Pittsburgh because Matt Murray is just a stud.
I don't know if I would though, because think about Vasilevsky in 2015. I mean, he
stepped in for Ben Bishop.
almost stole that series.
The Blackhawks didn't score more than 2 goals in any of the wins. All 4 of the wins, they scored 2 goals.
Yeah, they struggled. They struggled. They struggled so much against. Yeah, I know. They struggled so much against Vasilevsky.
I agree, but I'm not. I mean, Vasilevsky's going to win the Vezina in my opinion. He's the best goalie in the league right now. But like playoff goaltending is a whole nother beast. And
the thing is, oh, go ahead again. Sorry.
No, I was just saying it's a whole new beast, and like a few bad games can lose you a series.
Yeah, no, they definitely can. And Tampa's got to get over. Well, they've gotten over it once, but they've failed twice. They had a lead against the Rangers in 14. They were up. I think it was Tampa at least. They were up 3-2. Yeah, they were up 3-2 against the Rangers, and the Rangers. No, I'm wrong. Never mind. It's just the Pittsburgh one.
But they're so different now. Again. I mean,
that's true.
They got, Point, Kucherov, Yanni Gordy. I mean, this team is different.
And you've got a healthy.
Looks like he's got his swagger back.
He's healthy, that's like the number one thing for him is he's fucking healthy. Because he's always been, even in 15, he was hurt for a little while. So I think I'm not going to say that I'd give the edge to Vasilevsky over Murray. I would say that they're on pretty equal platforms.
Yeah.
It'd be a hell of a fucking series. I mean, that's probably as much as I want Pittsburgh out like as soon as possible.
Not happening.
I know in the back of my head it's not going to happen, and I'm going to want to watch the most entertaining hockey because it's the Stanley Cup, and that is probably going to be the most entertaining series to watch would be a Tampa-Pittsburgh series. The only other one I can think of is if like Vegas played Nashville.
Oh,
I don't want to see that.
Christ.
That makes me want to vomit.
Would be consumed between the two cities.
We'd be dummied for our podcast.
Jesus.
That would be fun. I got a question. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy.
Probably. Even
though Tampa's really good, I feel like they play a little loose, and I feel like that's bad again. Like Tampa, as much as Vasilevsky's good, they're very prone to get involved in a 4-3, 5-4 type of game. And that concerns me against a team like Pittsburgh. And also another thing I want to say is the deadline's coming up. I mean, these teams can also add. I mean, we've seen, obviously top teams every year, they're going to add somebody at the deadline. Maybe we'll talk about potential deadline targets as well, but a little bit of an early deadline preview if you guys had any names that came across your mind. But, yeah, I mean, am I crazy to think, though, that Tampa, playing a little bit loose could hurt them? I mean, it just seems like Vasilevsky's given them plenty of good games. And obviously he made that incredible save. We haven't even talked about that yet, where he made that save behind his back.
That save was nuts.
Against the Kings. That was ridiculous. But, yeah, it just seems to me like I don't know if they want to get involved in a shootout type of game with Pittsburgh. That's all I'm going to say.
But, see, to me, that could go either way because they're both really strong. They both have really strong goaltenders, and they both have just ridiculous offensive firepower. And so it's like, to me, I don't think that they'd want to, but they have the potential to be able to do that. And they have the potential to be able to do that for a whole series. Like, I mean, it's literally, like we were just saying, Stamkos, Kucherov, all of them versus Crosby, Malkin, and Kessel. It's going to depend on the goaltending in that series for me, because the offense is going to be there no matter what. It's just going to be who can make that extra save. And it doesn't have to be a ridiculous save like behind the back. But to me, that series is just exclusively going to come down to goaltending. So I think they have the potential to win 5-6, win games like 6-5 or 5-4 or 4-3 or whatever. But it's just, I agree. I don't know if they want to have to do that. I don't know. I like talking about playoffs right now. It's making me feel better about life.
The fact that, like Nick, you just brought up, the fact that both these teams can still add, I would say Tampa's more likely to add than Pittsburgh. But like, there are a lot of intriguing scenarios where, like, Tampa can, as good as they are, they can get like significantly better if you add an impact defenseman to go along with Hedman. Like,
who are you talking?
You said it yourself. Fucking Erik Karlsson.
Oh my! I don't see him going. I think he's going at the draft. I don't think he's going.
No, like I'm not saying he's going to go, but like just the fact that what if Yzerman's like, fuck it, we're going all in.
It's possible. I would rule it out.
It is like, is he going to do it? I don't know. I would say no, but fuck, that would be.
I mean, what are the big names this year at the trade deadline? Like, what names? What are the quote unquote big fish? I mean, some of the names I've heard, Mike Green seems
pretty
like
lackluster. Yeah, Rick Nash.
I heard Max Domi from Bob McKenzie just tweeted about it. Max Domi's not as big as a Rick Nash, but still.
Max Domi's not had a good year.
No, but he needs. But you give him.
You talk about a trigger happy GM. Chayka in Arizona is the most trigger happy fucking GM.
But think about it. Max Domi hasn't had a good year, but if you move him somewhere that's good, all of a sudden now his attitude makes a complete 180, and all of a sudden, maybe he's back to where, he becomes super deadly, on an already super powerful offense. Who knows?
I mean, what, like Evander Kane?
Yeah, he got who the fuck did he get? I saw him. Some team was in talks for Evander Kane. It's on the tip of my tongue. Fuck. I don't know. I can't remember. I'll look it up. But that's a pretty decent name if a playoff bound team adds him.
The attitude checks out. It always seems like it's like an attitude thing with him. I don't know why. It just doesn't, just all the talent in the world, just never can really fully put it together. I mean, Winnipeg got rid of him. I mean, Atlanta and Buffalo aren't the most well-run franchises, but yeah, I don't know what Atlanta? It is with Evander Kane. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were talking like presently. I was like, wait, what?
No, I'm just saying with Evander Kane, he's just.
No, I know what you mean now.
He's just been this guy you've like. You're like, dude, this guy could seriously hit 75, 80 points, and then it's just like.
I feel
never comes close to him.
To me, he's not his attitude fucking sucks.
But he could buy in somewhere. I mean, he could buy in.
But I feel like that happens, like you just said, that happens every year or every time he gets moved to a new team. He goes from Atlanta to Winnipeg. Well, I mean, that's the same thing, but still, and now he's at Buffalo and it's like, oh, this could be it for him. This could be it for him finally. And it's not.
Yeah. I mean, the deadline is a few weeks away. I mean, it's hard to say. I feel like Ottawa could make some moves. I mean, Ottawa's kind of a shit show right now, but I mean, I wonder who they could really make a trade for. I mean, Detroit's a team that's definitely possibly going to make some moves. Maybe a surprise name or something that could go would be, I think Kevin's mentioned this before, Athanasiou. Maybe Detroit just gets rid of him or something and makes a change of scenery type deal. Obviously they had him and Ken Holland butted heads a little bit, trying to get that contract done, or his agent, whatever the case was. Maybe, Detroit, I feel like Detroit, Ottawa, Carolina, those type of teams I feel like are really prone to making a move.
All right. The team, I just looked it up real quick. The team I saw that Evander Kane was rumored to is, believe it or not, the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Oh, God.
Wow.
We were just talking about what a shootout that series could be, and then you had a guy who we know can put the buck in the net with Evander Kane. And
I mean, what line does he even play on there? I mean,
I don't know. Any.
Yeah,
literally any.
If you stick him anywhere, yeah, fuck. Like, does he fit in the top 6?
He might just lay in the weeds.
Yeah.
I mean, Evander Kane getting some sheltered minutes against a third-pairing D could be a good move for Pittsburgh.
Yeah, but and at the same time, why would you put him into, why would you mix him into the top 6 where we know how good that bunch is? Like, why would you even bother messing with that at all? So
Ryan McDonough go?
Does he?
Ryan McDonough get traded. I mean, it seems crazy, but it seems like he could go. The Rangers are kind of trending downward. They probably want to retool. He can get you a haul. I want to say his contract might be up. I'll have to go look it up. But do you guys think McDonough could go? I mean, guys like him don't really grow on trees. I think there's a lot of teams going after him, looking into him. He's 28 years old, I believe.
I think Tampa. I saw Tampa was in talks.
I think Boston would be a great fit for him.
Yeah.
God, if he went to Tampa, good night.
Yeah, because that's kind of like a name where, like Kevin was saying, to go with Hedman. I mean, if you've got McDonough and Hedman and Slurgachev and Vasilevsky and that group, I mean, you give Tampa a top 2-3 defenseman. I mean, they might be the favorite. I mean, because it's really hard to say anyone's gonna have better odds than Pittsburgh, because I mean, someone's got to prove they can beat Pittsburgh in a 7-game series. No one's proven they can do it.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, one thing we got to remember is, Tampa wasn't even a playoff team last year, and obviously they're a lot better. And having Stamkos for the full year is, and Vasilevsky taking that next step, and Kucherov being literally an MVP, basically. Yeah, it's interesting, but I mean, Tampa getting an extra defenseman would just make them so good. So I don't know who they could get. I mean, do you think there's any surprise names that could possibly get traded? Like, I think we kind of think OEL is going to leave Arizona at some point, but I mean, is there any chance he goes now? Do you think?
I mean, if you're the GM, like, what's the harm in at least checking the market for him?
There's none.
Yeah. So see what you can get back. You could get a haul for him. He's got a year and a half, right?
Yeah. The thing is with Tampa, though, like if OEL's a name that Tampa would look at, if you're going to trade for one of these guys, we've beat this horse to death. But Doughty, Carlson, OEL, they're the same free agent class. You don't trade for OEL and give up a haul unless that's the guy out of the 3 that you want to sign. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Like, you can't.
Because I get what you mean. If you have to choose between the 3, you're giving up a haul either way.
Yeah, you're giving up a haul. You got to. If you trade the haul, you got to sign the guy.
Yeah.
So I mean, hey, I don't know. Maybe Stevie Y's got a boner for OEL. I have no idea, but yeah, I feel like maybe that's not the guy out of the 3 they'd really want to make the run at. So we'll see. We'll see. And take a break for a second. Time.
Yeah. 51 minutes, 48 seconds.
Okay. Seems like longer. I don't know.
Do we want to wrap up soon? I think we got a shit ton of good material here.
Olympics?
Fuck no. We already hit that pretty hard last week. Anyway, with Russia and whatnot.
Maybe we just wrap it up.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Just say like the Olympics are coming up.
Woo!
Oh, do we have a what the puck? Damn it.
Oh, yeah, we can look at
the only one I can think of is like
Dustin
Brown hit. Yeah,
you can do that.
Not really the best one, but fuck it, I'll just go with that.
Don't do a Blackhawks what the puck. That's such an easy way out.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah,
don't do a Hawks one.
I mean, we mentioned the Vasilevsky save, but does somebody just want to bring it up? And hey, if you haven't seen it, fucking, you're missing out.
No, I think. I'm trying to think. What's trending right now? Oh, what about Ottawa? Like all their executives are leaving and shit.
Didn't they extended their GM, right?
Mm-hmm. You could say that. That'd be a good one. Ottawa. Executives leaving, GM extended.
The
Rangers are having a fire sale. Do we have a time, first of all, Dan?
Yeah, it was at 51. It's at 53:40 now.
Yeah, I got a time. It's 51:48 when we ended, so. Fuck. Ooh.
I mean, you could do something Olympics related.
I mean, like nothing's really started yet. So anything I have to complain about, I've already complained about it.
Trying to think. What? Struggling. Dawson Brown is an easy one.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to go on like HF boards and like see if there's what they're talking about.
Yeah, I'm on there and I'm on Reddit too, just looking for stuff.
Their new HF board sites like fuck.
Oh, here's one. The IOC has ordered the U.S. women's hockey goalies to remove the Statue of Liberty from their masks.
Why?
I don't know.
What the fuck, man?
Here we go. The rule.
Tampa's talking to New York about McDonough.
Yeah. The rule from IOC guidelines regarding authorized identifications. No item may feature the wording or lyrics from national anthems, motivational words, public/political messaging, or slogans related to national identity. What the fuck?
What?
Yeah,
I'm going to do that.
All right. Now I got to think of something. You guys got one for me?
Let me take a look.
Maybe I'll just go with the Rangers. I don't know. That Rangers letter they wrote was kind of weird.
That was weird, yeah.
Yeah, maybe I'll just go with that. Okay. You guys go first.
Okay.
Just do the time and go.
All right.
Yeah, it looks like McDonough's going to go.
15.
I think McDonough's gone.
56, awesome. 58, you said, Dan?
56-20 now.
Okay.
Nick, you were talking last. I don't know if
you can introduce it, Dan. You can be like,
okay,
and then I'll go first.
Did you finish your thought, Nick? Though I can't remember.
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I guess I'll start it. All right. 3, 2, 1. All right, boys. Now we got what the puck moments. I don't know what you guys have, but as far as my pick goes, I'm going to go with the Dustin Brown hit that got him a suspension. If you guys didn't see it at home, it was basically a knee-on-knee hit. And kind of looking at it, it's one of those where, the guy that gets hit really doesn't make any sort of last-minute changes to his stride or anything like that. And Dustin Brown, I'm going to say it this way, being the competitor that he is, and he's gotten in trouble with shit like this before, like the Roosevelt hit's the first one you think of in the, what was that, the 2012 playoffs? Yeah, 2012 playoffs. But he didn't want to let the guy get past him, so he kind of stuck out his elbow and his knee and sent the guy flying. Wasn't the best hit, wasn't the best decision. I've been on both ends of those hits. They're not fun both ways, especially when you're getting hit like that. You can really fuck up your knee and whatnot. The worst knee-on-knee I ever saw was back when I was playing high school, and my teammate went knee-on-knee with a guy, and it actually broke his the tibia. Is that the big bone that runs in your lower leg? It snapped it in half. So really just, I know it was bad. So, I mean, that's the potential for that type of a hit. Luckily, it looks like nothing, is going to come of it. But it's just I understand that Dustin Brown doesn't want to let the guy get past him, and so your competitiveness is like, I got to do everything I can to stop this guy. But at the same time, you have to draw a line in the sand as to, what is safe and what is not safe. And it wasn't, but fortunately it wasn't as bad as it potentially could have been. So that's my moment.
Yeah, I think I'll just say, like, the Department of Player Safety, I think they're doing a very admirable job this season of, drawing a very fine line of what's going to be allowed, what's not going to be allowed. They're making the game for as dangerous as it is. They're making it safer to play, so to speak. So, yeah, like you said, just kind of a really tough situation to be in, but something that obviously you can't do. So that's that. Mine is going to be, this is pretty incredible. I couldn't really believe it. The IOC has ordered the U.S. women's hockey team's goalies to remove the Statue of Liberty from their masks. So I think that's, like, to me, that just goes against what the Olympics is all about. Like, you're representing your country, right? And I don't know, it just seems really...
Did they say why?
Yeah, so actually, it's in their guidelines. I got it pulled up. It says, no item may feature the wording or lyrics from national anthems, motivational words, public/political messaging, or slogans related to national identity. And that is just, like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Right? What the puck? Sorry.
It's like,
I mean, it's the Olympics. You're representing your country, and
why can't
you're literally they're not letting you represent your country. Like, it's a goalie mask.
It's not a fucking secret.
Yeah.
Like, that's so stupid. I don't understand why.
But we can have Kim Jong-un's sister.
Yeah.
At the Olympics.
Yeah, fuck that whole story. That is just
that's
weird.
A fucked up story.
I mean, come on.
But we can't have Lady Liberty on a mask.
Not to make it political, but to make it really political. I mean, just come on. I mean, you're going to have the sister of one of the world's most ruthless and horrific dictators get put in a positive light, and you can't have a stalwart of hockey, the United States women, and one of the most proud countries in the world represent the Statue of Liberty, which, just for all the history majors out there, the United States and the city of New York didn't build the Statue of Liberty. It was actually built by the French as a sign of...
In France. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I feel like it's...
I mean, so...
pretty symbolic of
and that's the first thing that a lot of, like, immigrants identify with is when they come over here. Like, that's when like, my immigrants came over... My family came over... the first fucking thing that they saw is the Statue of Liberty, and that's, like, the thing for, like... Fuck.
I agree. Like, well, I could be wrong here, but I feel like in the past, at least for men's, like, you've seen, I thought Ryan Miller,
Rick DiPietro, that mask was Rick DiPietro's mask where it had, like, the military personnel on it and all that stuff.
There have definitely been more, like, how do I describe it? There have been masks with, like, symbolic depictions of our country, and, like, it hasn't been a problem before. I don't know why it's a problem now.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, here's where the NHL goes. Well, you see, folks, you can play over here. You know, we used to let the Rangers have those Lady Liberty.
I was thinking the same shit. Yeah.
Alternate jerseys. One of my first memories of being a hockey fan is Gretzky in those jerseys at the end of his career. But yeah, like, guess 1 point for the NHL. I guess just hey, we'll let you wear whatever you want on your mask over here. So owners are all high fiving themselves. Good for them.
Can I change my what the puck moment? Because you saying the Rangers just reminded me of something.
Yeah.
And the Rangers had a backup, and the jersey that they fucking gave him.
Yes!
I totally forgot about this until
McBackup
now.
69.
You know what? You take it. Yeah. The fucking fact that it wasn't just McBackup. It was that his number.
Wait, that was real?
Yes.
Yeah.
And his number was 69. I forgot about that, and then you said the Rangers.
Well, that has long been Curtis McElhaney's nickname is the McBackup.
Oh my god. That's
Curtis McElhaney. Curtis McElhaney got absolutely cucked with that emergency goalie situation.
Did you see his face in the picture too? He's just like, "Yep, this is the jersey they gave me, guys."
Yes,
it's all good.
I don't know what the guys. I don't have it in front of me, so yeah, I guess I'll take it.
Oh
I mean, I think we've pretty much already gone through it, but long story short, the Rangers had an emergency goalie. It was like some young kid. I don't know if he was in college or what, and they must just have like a generic like one size fits all like backup goalie jersey that the equipment manager just like brings with them, because like this guy just imagine if that guy got in a game. That's like every like every like loser like single guy goes to like a game by himself, like the Eat Me 69 jersey, like the
and
like, are you 18, like all the this was a dream for all those people to see McBackup 69 get into the game.
Fucking right.
So
dude,
that's one.
I saw that. I forget where I saw a picture of it. I'm like, oh, yeah, someone just got a fake jersey and put McBackup 69 on. Holy shit, that's real.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Oh, my God.
Oh,
I totally forgot about that.
Fuck.
That might be the best what the puck moment I think that's ever been brought up since we started this segment.
That's pretty incredible.
I don't think I didn't hear any of that.
Huh?
Did you just talk a while?
Yeah,
Me?
we were both talking.
Yeah.
I didn't hear any of it. My computer completely froze.
Oh.
So I don't know if that's going to be a problem because I'm the recording guy.
I
think it'll still.
It should still.
Do you want to re-say it just in case?
Kev, you and I are fine, right?
Yeah, I mean, we were just like
I don't remember. I don't know when it cut out though on your end. We were just laughing about it, and then I said like, "This is one of the better what the puck moments we've had since we started it." It should be fine though.
Okay. Yeah. All right. I'll keep going. Give him the time though.
Yeah, Kev, it's 1 hour, 5 minutes, and 55 seconds.
All right.
I didn't hear a fuck after I like said McBackup. It's like this like the 8th time. It just shit froze out. So Kevin, when you're editing, you could possibly re-record yourself saying whatever you said, I guess.
I was just laughing pretty much. So.
Yeah.
So in like a more of a not as funny, but it was just really weird. My actual original what the puck moment was going to be the Rangers. So obviously the McBackup thing is fucking hilarious. But mine was the Rangers sent out a very like weird and cryptic message to their fans. So like Ranger fans, they're nuts. They said, I'm not gonna what the hell was that?
That was me. That was me. I burped. I forgot I wasn't on mute. And my mic sits like right here, so it just ate it up.
All right. Maybe we'll leave it in the show. But, no, we'll have to cut that.
Shit.
All right, give him the time, or unless Kevin's gonna be like, all
right. 1 hour, 7 minutes, 20 seconds.
All right.
Okay. I'll just restart my whole segment, except I was like just mumbling. Okay. So the McBackup thing is fucking hilarious, obviously, but my original what the puck moment was going to involve the New York Rangers because they did something I don't think I ever recall ever seeing an NHL organization doing. So they had a joint statement released by Glenn Sather, their president, and Jeff Gorton, their GM. And it was this really informative, like very well thought out, but very cryptic and weird message that they sent to their fan base. So they're like, as you know, to summarize, as you know, since 05, 06, we've been trying to bring Stanley Cup contender to New York City, and we got there. We didn't reach our ultimate goal. We got there one time. We lost. But basically, the trade deadline's 2 weeks away, and some familiar faces are going to be gone. I just thought it was really – it was kind of nice to try to justify what they were about to do, but that's kind of like as a player on that team, it's already bad enough that if you think trades are going to be coming, but imagine being in that locker room now. Like, literally everybody's got to be on pins and needles. When the GM and the president come out and say – yeah, there's going to be some changes to some really familiar names, and it's very obvious that they're already looking to deal Nash, and McDonough's name's now getting floated out there. I just think that's a really, really weird thing to do. I don't know what you guys think. I was kind of like, what the puck? Like, why would you just openly basically say we're going to be rebuilding here? Or, so also weird. And then basically the other what the puck, I guess, all I add on is now thinking about front offices and stuff doing weird shit is Ottawa's GM got an extension and their owner's basically an ass clown. I have no idea how he's allowed to own an NHL franchise. Like, they don't even sell out playoff games. Like, Carlson's going to be leaving. Like, there's a million executives leaving there. So Ottawa's a gong show. I don't think the Rangers are poorly run, but I just thought that message was like very cryptic and very weird. And if you're a player on that team, you basically just got to be like, my ass is grass. Like, Grabner, Nash, McDonough, all these guys. Just gotta just be like, I might be out of here.
All right. Can we wrap it up? I got really nothing to say.
Same.
Someone just say, yeah, I thought that was really fucking. Can someone say something?
I was looking at Kevin because I thought you were going to say something. Then you started like this.
Is it that boring of a thing?
Shoulder rub.
No, I don't know.
All right. Well, I guess I don't get a response.
No, like I'll be like, yeah, it's pretty fucking weird.
All right, go ahead, and then wrap up the show.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, I'll do that.
You got the time, right, Kez?
I do not.
Okay. 1 hour, 10 minutes, 41 seconds.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Yeah, Nick, that's it's pretty fucked up. I don't think I've ever seen that. It is. I'm a straight shooter. I call it as I see it. Like it's weird having the GM or whatever just kind of blatantly say, yeah, like,
yeah, it definitely is.
We suck. Like, we don't know.
This
like,
up.
Not even the Hawks have said that yet.
Fuck. If they say that, well, I haven't thought about that. Like, if you're a Rangers fan, you're a team that's consistently competing, in the playoffs, and then now you're franchise saying, yeah, whatever.
We're going to retool.
Yeah.
Rebuild, retool, whatever they want to call it.
With that, is that it for tonight, boys?
I think so.
I think so. We'll have some more trade deadline talk. Maybe we'll get a few blogs up. Probably have a few Blackhawks rant blogs coming up soon. Be on the lookout for those. We need to start writing a little bit more, so keep it fresh. We'd like to engage with our audience, a little more, than just doing the podcast once a week. But yeah, a little bit of Blackhawks heavy, but that's kind of I feel like it's a very compelling story. I know we got a lot of Blackhawk listeners, so I know they probably appreciated the elongated discussion about that. But obviously we have listeners of other fan bases, so we try not to make it too biased or bore you by talking nonstop about them. But it really is a compelling story. The trade deadline, the stove will heat up as we near that trade deadline a couple weeks from now. And so, as we hit the trade deadline and stuff like that, I think there'll be a little bit more to talk about too, because then, as we talk about potential playoff matchups, we'll really have an idea of who's going to be where, because you can have an idea now, but the the whole landscape changes if a McDonough or something goes to Tampa. So there's still a lot that is unfinished. There's still some wild card races going on, like the Metro, even, in the East is all jam-packed together. So be on the lookout for some new blogs. I think we've already buried the Blackhawks. We'll probably move away from talking about the Blackhawks because I think it just pisses all of us off, and we've covered them at length in the last 2 episodes. So we'll probably shift away from them moving forward. But, I mean, it's one of the hottest topics right now in the league. So we appreciate you guys listening to that. We hope you still found it interesting and everything. Boys, thanks for joining again, and looking forward to another enthralling hour or so of dialogue next week. Hopefully we'll have some more fun stuff to talk about, and hopefully no more dirty shit, but you never know. No more Dustin Brown shit.
No. Fuck that guy. All right, boys. I'll catch you guys later. We'll see you next week.
See ya.